Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes Iron Man mode on the Rebirth server. We are with our final Iron Man character, level 5, Final Flame. We're going to see if we can try to beat as many of the other characters as we can in terms of his survivability. And let's go to the hospital and make sure we can get the inspirations that we need. Sort of in the opposite direction of Aaron Theory, but when you first meet a contact, they often only give you a couple of different inspirations. They don't offer all of them until you've done a few missions, and I'm not sure what he'll do, so I don't want to fly over to him, find out we got to fly back anyway, so we'll just go to the hospital. We'll pick up an accuracy and a damage and another luck and another break free. They usually do not offer break frees, and I think they offer, I think it's luck, damage, and heal, or something like, or luck, endurance, and heal from the beginning, I think. Okay, so we'll get another luck. We'll get another break free. We'll get an accuracy and a damage. And there we go. Yes, I don't call them insight and enrage. I never call them, other than luck, I usually don't call them, and break free, I usually don't call them by their official names. I just call them accuracy, damage, heal, right? What is this called? Respite, endurance, and resistance. I don't usually call it sturdy either. And let's go ahead and get our visual distance drawing better. Hopefully you saw that over here. It was sort of an empty skeleton, and then we hit Viz scale, and that's our macro for making the visual scale be almost the size of Atlas Park, so that we come way over here and we see the dome and not like the underlying base model of it or whatever. So yeah, it's really interesting. The visual scale must be set differently on Rebirth compared to Homecoming, because I don't remember noticing any of that on Homecoming when I played on it. And Rebirth, I guess the original code had a very short visual distance, but I don't remember it doing that in live either, which is kind of interesting. Okay, so we have missions from him, and we're going to go and fight 15 Hellions that are going to turn into Arachnos over here. Much easier when we can fly than super speed and that sort of thing. And we'll go ahead and entangle you guys. Must have missed one. And he's dead. And this guy, we didn't even really hit him with much. Just our holds, and we got him. Not bad. Wow, I double missed those guys with the immobilize. And notice we've now aggroed these guys. The spawn rate is just so incredible over here. I mean, it's just completely insane to have them spawn that fast. I mean, you literally, this is old school MMO where you just stand there and the stuff just keeps regenerating. You don't have to go anywhere, right? To defeat 15, you just stand in one spot and let them keep respawning, which is just silly. And this is what the MMOs used to be like original EverQuest and some of these others. That's what they used to be like. You just stood at a spawn. They called it camping a spawn point. You would just stand at the spawn point and wait for it to respawn. Right, because they come back so fast, you just stand here and wait. Which is just ridiculous. And it's completely contrary to how the original game was designed and how it used to feel. I really am at a loss for why they designed this way, when they had more than enough experience making instanced missions, and they could have just made, board a train and make this an instanced mission. where you just come into this section of the zone and fight them. And then they wouldn't have to have a respawn. They could just have 15 of them here and say defeat all. And it would be super simple, right? You would just come through this section and defeat every spawn in it. And they wouldn't need to respawn them, and it would just work like normal City of Heroes. It really does baffle me that they didn't do that. But in any case, we're pretty well set. What do we keep doing here that we keep missing? 95.9. Well, if you're going to roll that, so the tactic here is put immobilizes on them and then hold the lieutenant. Most lieutenants cannot resist a hold like that, and consequently, they will be blocked from attacking you, and then you can usually handle the minion by yourself, right? And you just keep stacking the hold on the lieutenant until he's gone. 3 more to go. There are 2 here, and then we'll go back and do the other spawn. You're just basically ping-ponging between these two. There's no point to go any further in. If you do, you just get caught by the respawning behind you. Again, this was all, and I've mentioned this before, the spawn rate was obviously bumped to an insane degree because every new character has to do this story arc. And I'm sure when the story arc first came out, are they kidding me now? They're not going to respawn? This is hilarious. When the story arc first came out, I'm guessing that everyone made a new character to try it. Right, that's what people do on MMOs. I'm gonna go make up a new character. Especially in City of Heroes, you don't need a lot of excuse to make up a new character because it's super fun to make up alts, which is why I've done so much of that. Right, lots of people do that, and most people have many characters on a server, and so every time they put out some new first level experience, people would go do it. So now you can't do the old tutorial. They took that out. You can't do the old contacts. So everyone had to do this arc. Everyone had to talk to Aaron Theory. And so they had to make the spawn rate insane because there would be 20 or 30 people in there trying to kill Arachnos, and it would take forever. But when the server load is so low and there's hardly anybody here, the spawn rate is ridiculous. And again, they could have just easily solved that by making this an instanced version of this zone. And you just go through in a van or into a train station, and you come out the other side and you're in the instanced version of this that has these guys, and you just defeat the ones that are here, right? So the same thing, we're going to probably just end up fighting this spawn over and over again. Because if you go too far in, these guys will reappear. And they'll shoot you from behind. So this guy is resistant to the hold. You can see the first time I hold him, it didn't do anything. And it's also not lasting very long. So he's got some level of defense against it. Excuse me. So let's see how long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 seconds in between spawns. And since if you're alone, and certainly as a controller, you cannot defeat an entire other spawn within 15 seconds. If you stay anywhere near here, it absolutely will cause them to respawn before you defeat the first spawn. Yeah, we've got to try to keep this commander held because he's doing all that knockback. And let's heal ourselves. So you can see the Achilles heel of this guy and what's going to probably do us in. What's probably going to do me in is going to be the guys that are resistant to my holds. Right? When you get a lieutenant like that who either resists, both, in this case, he resisted the hold itself, and then the duration was shorter on him. You hit a boss that can't be held, and he's just going to crush you, right? We have no defense. All we can do is heal ourselves. So we definitely need, at 6th level, to get another one of these debuffs. So we got to defeat 3 more of these guys. So you see, initially, he is not immobilized or held. So it takes the second hit. That finally stops him. Right, and he's held for a little bit. You definitely need to keep stacking it. And he's still come after me, even though I triple stacked it. Right. Now these guys aren't resistant to it. And notice, in addition to healing me, it reduces his endurance and his regeneration. Now they don't really regenerate, these guys, and they don't need endurance, but but as you keep laying the debuffs from kinetics on these guys, it starts to eventually make a difference. Yeah, these guys are almost completely resistant to my holds. Alright, let's grab a break free so he doesn't knock me down anymore. Come on, click. Alright, without the Nemesis staff, I might have died to these guys. Seal up again. There we go. And the self-heal, a big saving grace. Yeah, without the Nemesis staff, this mission would have been really difficult. Because these, the commanders are resistant to holds and to immobilizes. Which, by the way, I didn't even know that. Man, I have stacked both holds and resistance. It's finally getting through his Mez defense. Look, double miss. I love it. So we've completed our mission. But we still need to defeat these guys. And then now we have to get these glowies, and that's going to be hard because it's easy to aggro these guys. Try to come in from above. Maybe we get lucky and we don't aggro them. Again, this is the sort of thing when there were multiple players running around fighting these guys, it would not have been a big deal to come in here and click glowies, but when there's not a soul here and every single spawn is sitting there waiting for you, it can be a little rough. So now we want to destroy the pylons. So I think, again, we're going to do the, cheesy way. Don't know if we're going to aggro them. This is going to take a long time, guys. Can't use the AoE. So it's just the hold and the Nemesis staff. Come on. Definitely a mission that's very unpleasant for a controller, because you just don't do that much damage. Now, why am I not using the AoE? Because I don't want it to hit these other guys, then they'll aggro to me. By doing it this way, we avoid aggroing the Arachnos. And then we go on to the next one. Come on. Yeah, I don't know whether the AoE is going to target the Arachnos that are down here. Oh, they aggroed to me anyway. So... And so here's the other annoyance, right? These pylons take so long to destroy that these guys are going to respawn for me to destroy, right? As a controller, that these guys are probably going to respawn before I destroy it, and I'm going to fight them again. And so then you have to fight the same spawn multiple times to take out a pylon, which is just super frustrating. Again, I think this would have been a really cool set of small instanced missions. You'd go in, fight, you know, a dozen or so Arachnos and take out the pylons. You'd see they aggroed to me again. It just takes forever. Killing my endurance. And I think we're just going to de-aggro these guys. They can't fly. So we'll just come up and de-aggro them and go after a different pylon. And look at that, there's another player actually working on a pylon. Believe it or not. First time I've ever seen that. Have they de-aggroed, or are they still coming after me? Looks like they've de-aggroed. It's going to take a really long time. Nope, they're coming after me. Are they? Such a pain in the neck. So yeah, this just ends up taking forever. I can't go low enough to use the Trank Dart, and we only have 2 attacks, that one of which does hardly any damage. And the other which takes forever to recharge because it's just a bonus attack. And if you didn't have the Nemesis Staff, which everyone did by the time they made this mission, of course, but if you didn't have the Nemesis Staff, this would take unbelievably long. Or the Black Wand, that's the other option you have. And if you try to do this the regular way, not cheesing it, but like just going down and running around on the rooftop and stuff, then you're going to get into probably 3 fights, 2 to 3 fights for every pylon, which would make this mission take an unbelievably long amount. I mean, just this would be an hour for a novice, you know, newbie mission. Is it finally going to be destroyed? There we go. We got a clue. We'll contact Aaron. That's probably the worst set of missions in this batch. That starts with Michael Habashi. Just because it's sort of so tedious. And now we're going to go in and save Habashi. And his wife. I don't know if his wife's been saved yet, but we're going to save him. I think she's in here too. Hopefully this will work. I've been having some trouble, and I don't know if it's the server or me. Every once in a while I try to zone in, and everything freezes. And I have to, like, shut down the computer and not the computer, shut down City of Heroes and restart it. Come on. Yeah, I'm actually not a fan of, like, the little word balloon captions that come up while you're doing stuff because it's so super distracting. You can't read them, right? Because you're in the middle of a fight. Um, I think, they're trying to make it seem kind of comic booky, but you can actually read the comic book. I can't read these because I'm busy fighting enemies. Oh, jeez, double miss. That's just wonderful. So one thing I do like about the Ring of Fire is when I throw it on them and it actually hits, I can see where they are even in the darkness of Arachnos with their dark costumes while it's bright in this room in the morning. It highlights them very nicely. I can see right where they are. Sixth level is coming up. We'll get our next, I think our next debuffing ability. We'll see what else is offered. The holds are great, but I think we do need to do some debuffing of the enemy. Alright, well, we're going to hold you and fire you. Oh, got them both. Good. Takes them both out, and this guy didn't even aggro to me. Very nice. Got an extra luck we don't really need, so we'll go ahead and use that. Hopefully we'll get another break free, but you never know. Those are a little rare. Ugh, missed again with that. I had to take a look at what our chance to hit is with Ring of Fire. 77%. Why is it only 77? Oh, the base accuracy is only 0.9 because it's an AoE. Yes, that's right. They do that, so we definitely need to bump the accuracy on that. Whoops. Yeah, so for some AoEs, they don't do it with all of them, but for some area effect attacks, and particularly the holds and entangles and stuff, they do have a lower accuracy. And we've leveled up, which gives us a free death in this mission. Should we die in here. And we should be okay because now we're +1 to the mission. So yeah, I think the logic is, if you're going to hit 3 different guys, right, the accuracy should be lower. Because, like, you still have 2 more chances to hit, essentially, right? If I miss 1 guy, I still have 2 more guys I could potentially hit. And if you hit 2 out of 3, hey, that's not bad. And that if it was super high accuracy, you'd be holding down everybody. And so they made a lot of the AoE holds and immobilizes and sleeps and stuff lower in accuracy. Although I don't think Seeds of Confusion was. I think those are actually 1.0. Okay, yeah, that was a mistake. I missed 1. got one. I was trying to figure out where the middle guy was, and they aggroed to me. Because I can't see anything in this damn base. Yeah, I would really like to have a conversation with whoever thought that this design, where you can't see anything, because it's so dark, and it's like it's not just dark, it's like there's a fog and you can't see ahead of you at all. Who thought that was a good idea? I suspect they're going to say, well, this meshwork thing that we did was so hard on graphics cards we had to find some way to cut it down. But it's just awful. Alright, so we're going to hit the Arachnos captain. Let's outline him. That's great. Now we can see where he is. And so you can see part of the problem that they had with the design in this game with controllers. Right? If the enemy is... if the enemy is not resistant to your holds, the fight is a joke. If the enemy is resistant to your holds, you die. Right? It's so swingy, right? There's no sort of middle ground where they're a little resistant to your holds, but your holds are still helping you. Right? It's either you completely choke them or freeze them or whatever, or they're resistant and you're fighting for your life. There's no sort of comfortable level the way there is, say, with a scrapper or a stalker when you're playing a controller. Either you've got the whole thing locked down and it's like a snooze, or you don't have them locked down and then you're gonna die, or you're very close to dying. Right? There's no sort of middle ground where it's challenging but not like super deadly. Alright, so we're gonna need these inspirations here. We're not going to kill you. We're going to rest you. And now a boss comes, but he's -1. And we're not going to be able to hold him. Right? So he's going to still attack me. We're not going to be able to immobilize him either, right? So our abilities, and we can't knock him back, right? So all of our mezzing does nothing. Right? So if it's not for inspirations, you're going to die. If you come in here with no inspirations, he's probably going to kill you, right? Especially if he's +0, and God forbid he's +1, right? Now, of course, we're low level, usually not facing a +1 boss at this level, but you certainly don't have any ability to do any mez on him, right? Your mezzes do not succeed. So now we're going to go to Habashi, where he's going to thank us for taking care of things. Aaron Theory's been kind of incarcerated, I guess, and we've defeated the Arachnos invasion of Atlas Park. And this is another reason, by the way, why I feel like it should be instanced. Because when I come out of this mission, there shouldn't still be a whole bunch of Arachnos pylons over here and everything. So if it were an instance of this, then you would have, when you just run over here normally without a mission, there's Hellions. When you do the Aaron Theory arc, you come into an instance version of this where there are Arachnos. When you're done with that arc, you get out of the instance, and they're back to Hellions. And that would make you feel like you'd actually had an impact on the city. Even though what you're actually doing is not changing what's going on in the zone, you're switching which zone you're going to. At least it would feel, from your character's perspective, like you're having an impact on the city. And I feel like they could have done a lot more of that. Especially because they have the instance missions that they could use it for. It's a shame they didn't think of it, or want to do the work to do it, or whatever. So either they didn't think of it, or they thought it would be too hard, or what have you. I'm going to continue to fight crime. We got a reward merit. We're halfway through level 6 already, and we're going to go up to, well, let's see, we're going to go here and get rid of all of our old enhancies. We have 5,000 now. Didn't we have more than that? Or maybe I'm thinking of the Defender. I think I'm thinking of the Defender. We don't have any orange salvage to sell. The Defender did. And now we're going to train up. And let's see. So we have smoke causes fear. No, or covers with clouds of smoke. Never mind. Foes near, not fear. Foes near, you're targeting clouds of smoke. They're blinded and can hardly see. Most of them will not be able to see past melee range, although some may have better perception. If they're attacked, they'll be alerted to your presence, but will suffer a penalty. So this works kind of like the blind power of our defender. Alternatively, we could get siphon power, reduces their damage, and transfers it to me, increasing my own damage, which sounds really good. Repel repels foes. I'm going to do siphon power, right? Because that's going to make them do less damage, and me do more damage. And me doing damage is one of the problems. Okay, so now we need to get another contact. Can we talk to any of these guys? Is any of them going to give me... No. He doesn't have a new contact. He doesn't have a new contact. And he doesn't have a new contact. And I think at level 6, we can't do Shauna Stockwell. So I guess we'll go to the Hollows. And we'll do that next time. And we'll talk to Dave Wincott and start doing Hollows missions, which is what I was going to do with my... with my defender, and then we got killed trying to do that, right? So I guess we can try to do some of those missions until Shauna Stockwell opens up for us. Until next time, I am Scarpalock, and this has been City of Heroes Iron Man mode on the Rebirth server with Final Flame.